do a really quick demo for the people that are trying to calculate surface area of leaves. And notice that originally I put this photo off of my iPhone, and I just had to, in preview, you can export, and then you can actually export this as a JPEG, which is what I had to do that to get this in here. But then once you have the JPEG, you can just drag it right on. So this is in ImageJ. And actually, I'll just show you when you just search for ImageJ, you can just do the run ImageJ in the browser. And so this is the same thing where you get this blank screen, you can drag in your image. So the first thing that you want to do is set the scale, which is basically telling the program what are these pixels in real life. And that's why you put the picture of the ruler in here. So you're going to do this line selector tool, and then you're going to draw a line. Usually the more, like the greater distance that you select, the more accurate it will be. So I tried to put this exactly on, it could be like 12, 11 centimeters. And then for analyze, you're going to set the scale. So this is the distance of that line. Again, that line selector in pixels. And I'm going to say that the known distance of that is 12. You can put centimeters here, but actually it won't show you the unit later. And then you need to make sure that you press OK by selecting the scale. And you can see that if now you draw another line in your image, so actually I've had students use this for a lot of different things, that it will tell you as you're drawing this, right, it will tell you the length. You can see up here, as I was selecting that, it was telling me the length of the line. So to select a leaf, the quickest way that I found to do this is actually if you go to image and you do this adjust color threshold. And so what you're going to try to do is use this saturation. And if you take this on a white background, so on a paper or a whiteboard, you can basically select out the white parts of this and just move this right beyond the white. And then in the brightness, you can go, assuming your leaves are dark enough, you can kind of select this all the way to color in all the parts of, or most of the parts of the leaf with red. It's not going to be, actually you can pretty much put that to the left. It's not going to be like amazing, right? There's these little, sometimes there's these little holes, but this is going to be pretty good for getting your area. And then there's this magic selector where notice that, right, there's some parts that are red in the ruler here. But if I click on this, it's pretty much selecting the whole leaf. And then up here, you're going to do analyze, measure, and then notice that it will give you a couple things that, to be honest, I'm not really sure what this mean is here, but what we're looking at is the area. And so that's 63. And then because we had set the scale in centimeters, that will be 63 cubic centimeters. And you can just use kind of common sense to see, does that make sense, right? So I'm saying, is this leaf about, a 6 centimeter wide by a 10 or 11, right? And then you're cutting out the corners. That makes sense to me. So that's a pretty quick way that you can do this. I actually haven't tried to do this for a bunch of leaves. Like, you might just be able to line up all your leaves at the same time. And just select them separately and analyze them separately. I might have a different video that I can show you, but just make sure, I would just make sure that you take a picture of your leaf and actually writing the name of the leaf, like, is this trial 1 of whatever, will be really helpful when you're trying to get this later on. So I would take a picture of your leaf first, then stick it in the chamber, do your test. And then this you can do, somebody can do at home too. So yeah, hope that helps.